And still in the spirit of the Easter festivities and celebration, we say very good morning to you and many thanks for joining us for the Easter Monday edition of Sports Splash on ABS TV. On the show this morning, Chief Agu Ejidike, pillar of sports, perhaps on, of course, sacrifices for sports development in Nigeria. And Solution FC sees off ABS FC a match day 14 of the Nigerian National League 25-3 nearly ended at the Oka City Stadium yesterday. We also tell you that Rooney stuns Alcaraz to win Barcelona Open, and that's in tennis. On the foreign scene, still on the headlines, so let's tell you that Piastri wins again in Saudi Arabia and takes the title lead in Formula One ongoing. Now to the details of the story. Our first story will start from the Oka City Stadium. We'll call it our own theater of our dreams. Let's tell you that Anambra government-owned club, Solution FC, on Sunday, the 20th of April 2025, defeated ABS FC by 3-0 in one of the match day 14 of the Nigerian National League, the NNL, for the 2024-2025 season. Let's tell you that Solution FC coach made 6 changes made to the side lost in Uyotu Goswill Akpabio FC as a coach. Gabriel Ezema rejigged the setup for the clash with the Solution Boys when the Solution Boys lost 1-0 in the reverse fixture earlier in the season. Goalkeeper Uchenna Ilo started ahead of Chinedu Nwabeze, while Stephen Eta and Solomon Akpan returned to the starting 11 ahead of our new recruits Chidera Okafor and Osita Onyemachi respectively. Skipper Joseph Igwe came into the starting 11 with Paul Audu dropping to the bench. Charles Ebwe replaced injured Romanus Chinonso as Chukwuemeka Oyeke was ahead of Christian Ahamefula. The Solution Boys were made to wait for the curtain raiser, which came 3 minutes before the break from Valentine Ugu's caller just outside the box, assisted by Bestman Barale. The second period, just like the first, kick started with Solution FC pressing high and wide with just a matter of time before their second goal, which came 5 minutes after the restart from an unlikely source. Talking about Chibueze Oputa, who clearly befuddled the Saraki Boys, a shotstopper Muyiwa Majeyawe to slot into an empty net after being teed by Valentine Ugu, who scored the first goal. 3 minutes from time, Chukwuemeka Oyeke scored with a delightful chip to secure the maximum points at home for Solution FC. And speaking to sports journalists after the match, coach Gabriel Ezema said his boys showed the will and desire to secure the win to be able to put themselves in a good position for the playoffs of sport for the MPFL. The gaffer said that the win was crucial for the players' confidence and the club's aspiration of finishing tops on the Conference B log by the end of the season. The Solution Boys, who are third on the log with 18 points third on the log initially with 18 points from 13 matches played, will hope to sustain the momentum when they play Lagos-based Madiba FC, and that's coming up on Friday, the 25th of April 2025, in one of the match day 15 fixtures. But right now, with this win, Solution FC are now 21 points on the log after 13 matches are played in the ongoing the Nigerian National League, and their next game, like I told you, is against Madiba FC, and it's a game coming up at the Mobolaji Johnson Stadium. That's in Onika, Lagos State, and that's coming up this coming Friday this week, in continuation of league actions in the Nigerian National League. It is called the most important league, and it is on the second tier of Nigerian club football. We say congratulations to Solution FC, and we hope they sustain the momentum moving forward in the league. Moving away from that, let's tell you that the Nigeria's pillar of sports, Chief Donatus Agu Ejidike, JP, has felicitated Christian faithful in Nigeria on the occasion of this year's Easter celebration. This was contained in the press release that he personally signed and made available to newsmen in Lagos, and that was on Sunday. Ejidike, who is the patron of a Nigeria Football Supporters Club, NFSC, reminded Christians to have always remember the reason for the season: Jesus Christ, who sacrificed himself so that mankind could be saved and follow in his footsteps. The Newi-born sports philanthropists described that Easter as a celebration of sacrifice by our Lord Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for the salvation of humanity. He therefore called on Nigerians to follow the ways of Christ and be willing to always sacrifice for the general well-being of the society. In the spirit of the Easter celebration, the pillar of sports, who had also served as the president of the Karate Federation of Nigeria, the KFN, calls on critical stakeholders in the Nigerian sporting community to sacrifice for the development of the sector for the long-term benefit of the country, rather than focusing on instant gratification, so that the renewed hope in Nigeria for sports economy, RINSE policy of the federal government can become a reality. He equally urged all sports lovers in the country to do everything within their individual capacities to render necessary sacrifice for the development of sports in Nigeria for the benefit of the overall national team, he stated. So that was the message of a pillar of sports chief Donatus Agu Ejidike to Christians on the occasion of the Easter celebration, and he called also for the essence of our unity, using sports as an instrumentality of unity and oneness in the country. Now let's go to the Glass House of Football in Anambra State. And the Glass House of Football at the national level is at the NFF, and we have our own Glass House, which is at the Anambra State Football Association. Well, let's tell you that the Anambra State Football Association, under the leadership of our Chief Chikelu Ilenyosi, known as the General, have secured a partnership with Manfest Pharmaceuticals Nigeria Limited. Manfest Pharmaceuticals Nigeria Limited are the makers of the first drink. Manfest Pharmaceuticals Nigeria Limited will sponsor the 2025 first drink Anambra State All-Stars Games are coming up later in the year. And it is a delight to inform you that the new partners with ANSFA will sponsor the All-Stars competition for players that are 40 years and above. And let's tell you that the winner of the competition is expected to smile home with a grand prize of 1.5 million naira. Runners-up will go home with 700,000 naira, while the top place team is expected to smile home with a sum of 500,000 naira. And there are individual awards numbering about 5, but for the best goalkeeper of the competition is expected to smile home with a sum of 50,000 naira. The best player, that's the most valuable player of the competition, will also go home with a sum of 50,000 naira. Top scorer will go home with the top with the sum of 50,000 naira. Best behaved team will also go home with a sum of 50,000 naira. Whereas there is also award for the best team of the opening ceremony, and according to the sponsor, they will go home with a sum of 50,000 naira also. And let's equally inform you that registration is ongoing for the anticipated 2025 first dream Anambra State All-Stars Games. And of course, at a sum of 70,000 naira we hear. And of course, registration has already commenced. It kicked off on the 7th of April, and we hear the registration will clock off on the 30th of April. That's 2025, still this month. And of course, like we told you, that the competition is strictly for players of 40 years and above, and it's all about the 2025 first dream Anambra State All-Stars Games. And of course, ANSFA, the Anambra State Football Association, under the leadership of Chief Chikelu Ilenyosi, can confirm that they've inked a deal with Manfest Pharmaceuticals Limited for the upcoming All-Stars games are coming up later in the year. We'll keep you posted as regards that one subsequently in our sports program. Let's move on now. Let's talk about a club or a football academy in the administrative capital of our state, and it's a club called Hallelujah Football Academy. Well, let's tell you that Hallelujah Football Academy of Oka on Sunday the 13th of April 2025 defeated Rangers International AFC Academy by a lone goal in a friendly encounter played at the Capital City Primary School, fondly known as the Ayom Nopala Pitch, Amenyi Oka. Let's tell you that Mario Ozoilos Belter in the 78th minute of the match was enough to give the Capital City side a deserved win against a spirited Rangers and International FC side under the tutelage of coach Ejike Uzenyi MON. Hallelujah FA under the watchful eyes of coach Ebuka Okoye took their pound of flesh, having lost in the reverse fixture by the same scoreline in an encounter played at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. That was last month. The Oka-based side had before this time, a fortnight ago, played out a 1-1 draw against No Skin Pain FA at the FCIU International Stadium, and that's in Ozobolo, Nnewi. And reacting after the match, coach of Hallelujah FA, coach Okoye, described the win as a deserved one, judging by the chances created by his boys in the pulsating encounter. The tactician informed that Hallelujah FA is still a work in progress, as the aim is to raise the next generation of superstars who will go on to play at the top level, the top league level in the land, and eventually feature for the cadet side of Nigeria's national team. Coach Okoye thanked the fans for turning out in their numbers during the friendly clash played on Palm Sunday morning, while promising that the team will continue to play good football at all times and equally entertain her teaming fans. On his part, the proprietor of the academy, Elo Chukwunwosu, stated that the match was an opportunity for the team and technical crew to expose the young lads to active competitive football, as well as to continue in its quest to build a solid team capable of competing in interstate and national academic competitions when the opportunity comes up. The football administrator thanked the supporters and fans of the football academy, as well as the Oka All-Stars FC, for their immense support by showing up for the entertaining encounter. He also promised to expose the team to more games in the near future. Other highlights of the encounter was a presentation of a Rangers International FC original jersey to the proprietor of Hallelujah Football Academy, Elo Chukwunwosu, by Rangers main team assistant coach, talking about Oke Odeta, and a group of photo sessions between the two sides. But that game ended 1-0. It was Hallelujah Football Academy 1, Rangers International FC under 13 side 0, and that's how we ended at the Capital City school pitch in a match that was played last Sunday, and that was on Palm Sunday. And we say congratulations to Hallelujah Football Academy. Moving on now to Nigeria players abroad. Let's tell you that Nigeria forward Nathan Teller insists that he is happy with Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen, dismissing rumors that he is on his way out of the club. Teller stated that he's eager to continue playing for the German side, and the 25-year-old played a pivotal role in their domestic double last season, and despite battling with injuries this season, he has remained a valuable member of Xabi Alonso's squad, featuring in 35 matches across all competitions. Leverkusen have remained in contention for the Bundesliga title, as they are trailing just 6 points behind the league leaders Bayern Munich. In an interview with a section of the media during their Wednesday training, the winger conveyed his conviction that the title race is still very much alive, and Teller also sees that the chance to reiterate his dedication to the club, highlighting his growing bond with Bayer Leverkusen. The former Arsenal Academy player was substituted at halftime during Leverkusen's scoreless draw with Union Berlin last weekend after reportedly feeling dizzy. He was later taken to the hospital for evaluation, but has since resumed individual training. And Teller is hopeful about making his return when Leverkusen takes on St. Pauli, and that's coming up on Sunday. So that Nigerian is happy being at Bayer Leverkusen, and we are talking about Nathan Teller, and we'll continue to monitor his progress at the German Bundesliga side. Let's move from one Nigerian player to another. Let's talk about Victor Osimhen. Galatasaray Vice President Ibrahim Hatipoglu is hopeful that Victor Osimhen will stay at the club after attracting interest from the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, and Arsenal. The Nigerian striker is currently on loan at Galatasaray from Napoli and has been in fine form, scoring for the Turkish Giants this season, while Osimhen recently suggested that the 2024-2025 season could be his last at the club. Hatipoglu hopes that the 26-year-old will stay for the foreseeable future. His words don't mean he's leaving. Hatipoglu told the media, he said that even if he left in the worst case scenario, Galatasaray would always be in his heart. But he didn't say he's leaving. We want him to stay with us for a long time and contribute to the further success of the team. That's talking about Galatasaray. Vice President Ibrahim Hatipoglu talking about Victor Osimhen's situation playing for the team out there. Watch out and see if Victor Osimhen will decide to move on with interest everywhere in big clubs in Western Europe, or if he would decide to stay with Galatasaray. Time will tell. You're watching Sports Splash on ABS TV. Let's go for a short break. When we'll come back, I will go to other stories. We'll have athletics news. We've got Formula One. Piastri is in the news. Max Verstappen as well is in the news. We've got tennis news, and then results of our league matches in England and Spain, and that was over the weekend. We'll tell you about that and lots more on the flip side of the show. We'll be right back.
This is Anambra.
We're back again on the show Sports Splash on ABS TV, the Easter Monday edition. Thank you very much for joining us. In the first half, we told you that Solution FC defeated ABS FC by 3-0 in a match played at the Oka City Stadium, and that was yesterday. Valentine Ugu scoring in the 42nd minute of the game. Chibes Loputa scoring in the 50th minute, and then an icing on the cake from Chukwu Emeka Oyeke in the 87th minute of the game as Solution FC obliterated the team from Kwara State ABS FC by 3-0 in the reverse fixture. The reverse fixture ended 1-0. ABS won that one, and Solution FC bouncing back after not quite an impressive result of late in the first match of the second stanza of the league. They played 1-1 against Osun United, and then they went away to Godswill at Babio United FC and lost 4-1, and of course then losing to Kwara United in the Federation Cup round of 16. But right now they've bounced back, and of course they defeated ABS FC by 3-0. And like we told you, their next match is against Madiba FC, and that match is coming up on Friday at the Mobala Johnson Stadium on Ikan in Lagos State. We'll be watching out for that. I will keep our tabs on Solution FC as they progress and as they make an effort to see if they can be in the playoff come the end of the season to have a fighting chance to play in the Nigeria Premier Football League come next season. We wish Solution FC all the best. So do well to ensure that during their match day you be there at the Oka City Stadium. And of course their next match at home is against Abakaliki FC. It's an Oriental derby, and that game will be coming up on Sunday the 4th of May. That's next month. So ensure that you are there to support Solution FC in their next home match, and that's a home to Abakaliki FC in continuation of the Nigeria National League, the NNL, the 2024-2025 season. We also told you on the show that yes, Pillar of Sports of course has talked about the importance of sports development in Nigeria, using sports to unite people, and of course he sent out this message to Christians as they celebrated as they celebrate the Easter. And he equally told you in the first half the Anambra State Football Association has inked a partnership deal with Man First Pharmaceuticals Limited, the makers of a first drink, for the sponsorship sponsorship of the 2025 Anambra State All-Stars competition. And we hear that the registration for that competition has kicked off. It kicked off on April 7th and is expected to last till the 30th of this month. And of course, the registration fee, according to what we heard, is 70,000 naira. And we hear that there are prizes to be won. The winner of the competition will go home with 1.5 million naira. Second prize, 700,000 naira. And third prize, we already told you, is 500,000 naira. While there are other individual awards for the best goalkeeper, of course, a top scorer in the competition, best behaved team. There's also something for the best team of the opening ceremony and the most valuable player, who all get a 50,000 naira each. And it's equally important to inform you that the competition is for players that are 40 years and above. And that's the story about ANSFA securing a deal with Manfest Pharmaceuticals Limited for the sponsorship of the Anambra State All-Stars competition. Also, we told you that Hallelujah Football Academy last Sunday, that was on Palm Sunday, the 13th of April, defeated the Rangers International by 1-0, courtesy of a goal scored by Mario Ozoilo in the 78th minute of the game. It was a match played at the capital city pitch, fondly known as the Iron Nobala Primary School, and they got the better of Rangers by 1-0. Or you may wish to say they took their pound of flesh, because in the reverse fixture played last month at the Anambra Stadium, Rangers International also won that game by 1-0. So Hallelujah Football Academy making real reviews in the administrative capital of the team. Is just a team for players under 13 and below, featuring that one. And of course, the owners are trying to do something extraordinary with players of that age category in that competition. Now let's move on to other stories that are on Sports Splash. Let's tell you that Morocco head coach Walid Regragui has revealed why Spanish teenage sensation Lamine Yamal decided to play for La Roya instead of Atlas Lions. Regragui shared that Morocco made a strong case. To convince the young star to join them by spotlighting the African Cup of Nations and the 2030 World Cup, which will be co-hosted by the African nation. And they approached Yamal with a deep respect, offering a considered a plan for his future with Morocco, and highlighting the emotional ties and history he has with the nation. And he has this to say: Lamine Yamal is a generational star who we try to get to play for Morocco, but he chose Spain, and we wish him the best of luck. What he does at his age is incredible, said Regragui, as quoted by Maka. It's important to recall that in August 2023, Yamal made a crucial decision to represent Spain rather than Morocco. At only 16 years of age, the younger player resolved the issue following discussions with the Spanish Football Federation and a conversation with, of course, the head of football out there in Morocco. I spoke directly with Lamine Yamal, and he was honest with me and also with the Moroccan Federation. Regragui reflected, we tried everything with the project that we have with Morocco, with the African Cup of Nations in our country, with the 2030 World Cup, with the affection the country has for Lamine. But the kid never lied. He didn't play his first Moroccan or Spanish game and chose Spain. Yamal was born and raised in Rocafonda neighborhood and has been a part of the Spanish football for a long time. He developed his skills at Barcelona's La Masia Academy, where his footballing identity was molded by the Spanish system. 2 or 3 days after speaking with him, he called me respectfully and said, "Sir, thank you for your kindness, but I'm going to choose Spain. I feel Spanish." He's a very honest kid. The president of the Football Federation of Morocco stated, "We spoke with the family, with him, and with his lawyer. It was the first case, and I had when I joined the national team." That's football, stated that the president of the Moroccan Football Association regarding Yamal's chance of playing for Moroccan national team. It's not going to happen, as that man has chosen, or the boy has chosen, to play for the Spanish national team. Away from that, a Gabon international Aaron Bopenza has died at the age of 28 after reportedly falling from a building in China. The forward featured for his country at the 2021 African Cup of Nations AFCON in Cameroon and won a total of 35 caps for the Panthers. He had joined a Chinese club Zhejiang FC based in the city of Hangzhou with a Romanian outfit from Romanian outfit Rapid Bucharest in January. Bumpenza began his career in his home land with CF Munana and went on to have spells with sites in France, Portugal, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United States. And Gabon's Football Federation, Fegafoot, announced the news of his demise on social media. And Gabon's president-elect Jean-Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema was among those to pay tribute to Bumpenza, describing him as a talented center forward who brought honor to Gabonese football. And of course, I will say, may his soul rest in peace. Moving away from that now, let's tell you that world record holder, as we now shift our focus to athletics, Ruth Chepngetich has pulled out of the London Marathon along with defending champion Perez Jepchirchir, and Kenya's Chepngetich, 30 years of age, became the first woman to clock a sub-2 hour 10 minutes time at the 2024 Chicago Marathon, but says she was not ready for next weekend's race. And Chepngetich said she was very sad to miss the race, but she hopes to be back for the London Marathon in 2026. And fellow Kenyan Jepchirchir, who won last year's London Marathon in a record time of 2 hours and 16 minutes and 16 seconds, will miss the race with an ankle injury. In the absence of Chepngetich and Jepchirchir, organizers have announced that their compatriot Vivian Chiruyot will take a spot in the elite field. And Chiruyot, 41 years of age, has run at the London Marathon 3 times and won it in 2018. And now to the world of tennis. Garoon produced a sensational performance to stun home hero Carlos Alcaraz and claim the Barcelona Open title. And Denmark's Rune matched the Spanish shot for shot and held firm in the tight moments to beat his childhood friend 7-6, 6-2. It is Rune's first ATP Tour title for 2 years and his biggest since the Paris Masters, and that was in 2022. And Rune formed forced to retire in Monte Carlo last week with illness. Said afterwards he has been inspired by Novak Djokovic's victory over Alcaraz in the Olympic final at the Roland Garros. Alcaraz, who had been bidding for a third Barcelona title in 4 years, that missed all 4 of his break opportunities he created in the second set and also required a medical timeout. While Rune will return to the top 10 on Monday, Alcaraz will be replaced as world number 2 by Alexander Zverev, and Germany's Zverev defeated Ben Shelton 6-2, 6-4 in the Munich Open final to claim his first title of the year on his 28th birthday. Away from that, to the world of motorsports, focusing on Formula One. McLaren's Oscar Piastri took his third win of the year, and with it the World Championship lead at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Piastri benefited from a penalty for Red Bull's Max Verstappen to take control of the race and score his second win in a week. And Verstappen was given a 5-second penalty for illegally keeping the lead from Piastri by going off the track at the first corner, but had more than enough pace to keep a second place. McLaren's Lando Norris recovered from 10th place on the grid after his crash in qualifying to finish 4th behind Ferrari's Charles Leclerc in that one. And Piastri's third win in 5 races so far this season puts the Australian 10 points clear of Norris in the championship, with Verstappen just 2 points further adrift. And away from that, before we go now to results of our league matches played in Spain and in England, Girona is expected to take on Real Betis later today by 8 o'clock. Real Madrid defeated Athletic Club 1-0. It was Sevilla 1, Deportivo Alaves 1, Villarreal 2, Real Sociedad 2. Real Valladolid lost 2-3 at home to Osasuna. It was Las Palmas 1, Atletico Madrid 0. A late goal. Real Mallorca 0, Leganés 0, Barcelona 4, Celta Vigo 3, Rayo Vallecano 1, Valencia 1, Espanyol 1, Getafe 0. In England, Tottenham Hotspur will take on Nottingham Forest tonight by 8 p.m. in the London Derby. Leicester City lost 0-1 to Liverpool at home. Leicester relegated the second time in 3 seasons, and Fulham 1, Chelsea 2. Ipswich Town were mauled by Arsenal 4-0. Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 4, Newcastle United 1, Brentford 4, and Brighton 2, Crystal Palace 0, Bournemouth 0, Everton lost 0-2 to Manchester City, and West Ham United played out a 1-1 draw against Southampton in a later game, and that was how it went down in the Premier League at the weekend. And that's about the size of the Monday edition of Sports Splash. Thank you very much for being here. The show will continue for the rest of the week. Join us again by 9:15 to 9:55 for that. My name is Ike Nwokede. Have a lovely week, and remember to keep sporting. Bye bye now.